And joining me now is Jean-Christophe, a political scientist and communications specialist. Here in France, Jean-Christophe, there's been much criticism over President Macron and his government's handling of this pandemic. What, in your opinion, were the major issues?
A quite long series of hesitations and contradictions. Probably more than mistakes, probably more institutional and structural issues, and probably weaknesses amongst our systems. And it was quite the revelation for the population that the whole French sanitary system and political system was very weak. Everybody thought that we were probably one of the best systems in Europe, probably in the world for people. And the revelation of that crisis was that everything was like very weak amongst, starting from mass tech, whatever. The whole system was like shocked, and the crash test was not very, very good for the government. Even though today everybody's behind the whole country, but criticism, as you said, is preparing to be very strong, more than it is today, in the next weeks.
Certainly the government's failure to initially push for widespread testing and their flip-flopping on the issue of masks, that did not help, did it?
Yeah, because it was, again, the fact that behind the whole hesitation was the unpreparation. The fact that people discovered that there were no masks, no tests, that the spendings around the organization of the whole sanitary system in France was not at all what they thought it was. And this was the main discovery inside the crisis. You need to understand that this is for France quite a very strong and bad discovery. The fact that we were not at all prepared. And after that, you had behind and above the mask, the hesitation around the treatments. There was like something between the south and the north of France, Marseille and Paris, with the whole issue around the treatment. And behind that issue around the treatment, again, something around collusions between the sanitary heads of the people at the head of sanitary system, even in the political side, and, for example, companies around, research issues. So this is not only a crisis around the COVID, it's around what is the organization of France today in relation to the whole possibility of, again, having a crisis of this type.
Still, is there public recognition that by comparison to the UK, the government here certainly managed the crisis better?
Yeah, if you look at it, because the thing was like more, again, quicker. The answer was quicker. The fact even though hesitation were, being, really understandable at first thought, because probably people were stuck at this kind of whole rank capacity of COVID. But the fact is that this is very close, in fact, because hesitation was longer in the UK. Probably, you could feel that everything was in between sanitary issue, economical issue. And they had the same hesitation everywhere. France at one time jumped into the sanitary protection more than the economic protection. That's going to be something different. UK did it afterward, but it's something that everywhere you can see, all around Europe and everywhere. Countries like Sweden did at all close down the country. So it's something that is more around hesitation and unpreparation. This is something that is very strong inside the population in France, because when you look now what's going to happen in the next weeks, if you look at the school issue, the whole declaration is very vertical, but in fact at the street level, the schools won't be able to accept as many students or pupils they want to have it, because it's very complicated. So this is kind of something between the whole declaration of the political field and the fact at the government level, and the fact the reality at the street level is very different.
Jean-Christophe, thank you so much.